All right, guys, welcome back to ELA day 3. Today, we are going to go ahead and finish up our lessons on theme, and we are going to do that by watching an interactive lesson on iReady and just kind of reviewing what we've been talking about all week long. You will have a text that you guys are going to be reading, and you're going to answer some questions with your teacher today. Um, Hopefully, this will be easy and you guys will get through it pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and start right here. So you're going to watch this video with your class. Teachers, you may pause the video now. This video is about 10 to 15 minutes long. So this will probably be the majority of your lesson. This video recording will be shorter just because of that. If you're having trouble watching this video on the link, you can also assign this lesson on iReady to your students. It is the lesson for theme under comprehension. So this is a time where you can pause. All right, so we are going to be reading this story. I am going to read the story out loud, and then in your class, you're going to work through the questions that I have assigned, that I have posted on our lesson plan. Just like we did on the miser, you can use a graphic organizer to help you, and with the wise man as well. Let's go ahead and get started with this one right here. There are going to be several things that I need you guys to think about before we start reading. This is a folk tale, and you are going to be looking for character actions and details from the story to help you figure out the theme. So I'm going to read the story out loud to you, and then you guys are going to work together on some questions. The questions are going to be right here. Let me go ahead and get to them right here. And what we'll do is I will read the story, then the teachers can either pause or when we start working on the questions, they can pause the video. So here goes the story. The title is The Belle of Autry, retold by Jane Carey. Autry is the name of a little town in Italy. A long time ago, the king of Autry had a large bell hung up in a tower in the marketplace. A rope that reached almost to the ground was fastened to the bell so that even the smallest child could ring the bell by pulling upon this rope. All the men, women, and children of Autry came down to the marketplace to look at the bell. It was a very pretty bell, and it was polished until it looked as bright and yellow as the sun. "Many people," said the king, "do you see this beautiful bell? It is the bell of justice. If any of you is wrong at any time, you may come and ring the bell. Then the judges shall come together at once, hear your case, and give you justice. Rich and poor, old and young, all alike may come, but you must not pull the rope unless you know you have been wronged." Many years passed, and many times did the bell ring out to call the judges together. Many wrongs were righted, many ill-doers punished. At last, the rope, worn and broken, became so short that only a tall man could reach it. "This will never do," said the judges one day. "What if a child should be wronged? He or she could not reach the bell to ring it." They gave orders that a new rope should be put on the bell. But there was not a rope to be found in all of Autry. They would have to send across the mountains for one, and it would be many days before it could be brought. "Let me fix it," said a man who stood by. He ran to his garden and soon came back with a long grapevine. He climbed up and fastened it to the bell. The slender vine, with its leaf and tendrils still upon it, trailed to the ground. The judges thought it to be a very good rope. Now on the hillside above the village, there lived a man who had once been a brave knight. In his youth, he had fought in many a battle. His best friend had been his horse, a strong, noble steed that had borne him safe through danger. But the knight, when he grew older, cared no more to ride into battle and cared no more to do brave deeds. He thought of nothing but gold and became a miser. Day after day, he sat amongst his bags of money and planned how he might get more, and day after day his horse stood in his bare stile, half starved and miserable. What is the use of that lazy steed? Said the knight to himself one morning. It costs more to keep him than he is worth. I might sell him, but there is not a man who wants him. I will let him fend for himself. So the brave old horse was turned out to find what he could on the barren hillside. Weak and sick, he strolled along the dusty roads, glad to find a blade of grass or thistle. One hot afternoon, the horse wandered into town. Not a person was there, for the heat had driven them all indoors. It wasn't long before the poor beast saw the grapevine that hung from the bough, the leaves and the tendrils upon it still fresh and green. What a fine dinner they would be for a starving horse! He stretched his neck and took one of the tender morsels in his mouth, but it was hard to break it from the vine. He pulled at it, and the great bell began to ring. The judges put on their robes and went out through the hot streets to the marketplace, where they saw the old horse nibbling on the vine. Ha! Cried one. It is the knight's steed. He has come to call for justice, for his master, as everybody knows, has treated him shamefully. Meanwhile, a crowd had gathered, eager to learn what cause the judges were about to try. When they saw the horse, everyone stood still in wonder. Then all were ready to tell how they had seen him wandering the hills, uncared for and unfed. The judges ordered the knight to be brought before them, and when he came, they bade him stand and hear their judgment. This horse has served you well, they said. He has saved you from many a peril. He has helped you gain your wealth. Therefore, we order that half your gold shall be set aside to buy him shelter and food, a green pasture where he may graze, and a warm stall to conform him in his old age. The knight hung his head and grieved to lose his gold, but the people shouted with joy, and the horse was led away to his new stall, and a dinner such as he had not had in many days. In many a day. Sorry. All right. Let me just go ahead and let you guys. From the story we read yesterday, the miser is a person who hoards money, somebody who keeps money or wealth. That's what the knight was doing. He was hoarding his wealth. So let's go ahead and talk about question number one on the text. This question has two parts. The first one is how are the events in paragraph 1, 2, and 3 important to one of the themes of the story? So there could be more than one theme in this story. In your class, you may go ahead and have a discussion of what you think the theme is for this specific text. So you may pause the video and discuss this question. So if you answered D, they show that the town's leaders want everyone to have equal access to justice. That is correct. The beginning of the story, the text is talking about how the king set this bell so that the people who are being wronged and are being treated unfairly or have something has happened to them can go to the town and they can ring the bell and the judges will come and they will be given the justice that they deserve. So yes, it is important that the people in this town are trying to make sure that everybody gets equal access to justice. Very good, everybody. Let's go ahead and talk about part B now. Which two sentences from the story provide the best support for your answer in part A? So now you're looking at sentences from the text to support your answer of everybody. The town's leaders wanted everybody to have equal access to justice. So on this one right here, you are going to read all of your answer choices and you're going to pick the 2 sentences that best support your answer. So again, these are 2 sentences. So it could be A or B or C or D or E or F. Okay, so you have to pick 2 of them that support your answer. Teachers, you may pause the video to let your students answer the question. Obviously, you guys got it correct because you guys are awesome. And the answers that we got were A and C. A rope that reached almost to the ground was fastened to the bell so that even the smallest child could ring the bell by pulling upon this rope. Obviously, the rope was long enough for children, so everybody had equal access to it, not just tall people, okay? Not just medium-sized people, everybody, even a baby could ring the bell. C, if any of you is wrong at any time, you may come and ring the bell. This sentence specifically tells you that if you have had something wrong happen to you or something bad has happened to you and somebody is at fault, you can go and ring that bell and the judges will come and give you justice. So those 2 sentences right there support my answer that on paragraphs 1, 2, and 3, it shows that the town's leaders wanted everybody to have equal access to justice. Now on part 2, this question has 2 parts again. Now we're going to talk about a different setting in the story because now this one takes part in the town. This section, these questions are talking about what happens in the knight's home, right? So the first question is, how do the knight's actions contribute to a theme of the story? So now we're talking about a second theme in the story. So the first theme we're talking about was everybody having equal access to justice, right? Now we're talking about the theme that we learned from the knight. So this story has 2 themes. See, we're learning more than one thing from reading the story. So how do the knight's actions contribute to a theme of the story? So now pause the video, have a discussion about this question and how you can answer it. Excellent job, guys. You answered C. His choices show that wealth should be used to help those who have been loyal friends. Look, guys, obviously you're not going to give all your money to your friends, but if you have a friend who's always got your back, you're not going to turn your back on them when they need you, right? You're going to give them a hand. You're going to help them as much as you can because that's what friends do, especially friends who have saved your life. Like this horse saved this man's life and he turned his back on him. He was more worried about making money, right? Money's good. I mean, I like money, but come on, man. You got to have friends also. So his choices show that wealth should be used to help those who have been loyal friends. So what that means is that the money that he was keeping should have been used to help his horse. He was starving his horse. So which details from the story best support your answer for part A? So now have a discussion in your class about how I can find a detail that supports my answer for part A. You guys are geniuses because you guys keep getting them all correct. Right, the correct answer was D. Therefore, we order that half of your gold shall be set aside to buy him shelter and food. Look, they didn't even take all of his money. They just said, you're going to have half of your money, and that half of your money is going to be used to take care of your horse because that horse saved that guy's life. When he went into battles, he didn't walk back home. He didn't run back home. That horse carried him back home. So he deserved to have some justice. Even the horse got justice in this story. So now we have gone over our text, we have practiced, we have answered our questions, and you guys have had great discussions. I will see you guys next week. I will be doing science. I hope that these videos have been helpful, and I will see you guys very soon. Have a good one. Peace.